So now there's 4 new members, all of whom are antagonistic to a proposal that was.
But tell me, we're going to stay on this topic.
No, I'm
Go ahead.
staying on this topic.
Okay.
This is the topic of board members, all
Okay.
right? So basically, community members have basically decided that they want to take over the community by flooding the office with applications. So I went from having like a nice, collegial, everybody talking to each other, not over each other, to a very rambunctious, difficult meeting. Also, they can do a thing which is they can tell all of their people who are like, on the same page, don't show up and don't give them quorum.
So where do you want to get to?
So
1 second.
my point is, all right, when applications come into this office, I think it's our duty, you and I, to sit down and discuss whether these people are appropriate.
Well, that's what I said at the beginning. I said that at the beginning.
But I have these people on my committee.
Okay, but we can't, listen, Tim, we can't do nothing for those who are already on the committee.
Okay, but
Well,
I've
we
got
can-
2 or 3 people who said that they wanted to be on the committee before these people came, and they're still languishing.
We can check and see if we have the applications.
Okay, he was on the committee and then he was taken off.
I don't know why he was taken off.
Well, apparently you told him that he didn't
That's
have
the
his
gentleman,
proper
Dan?
application. Yeah.
Well, he said he has a conflict of interest to join your committee because of what his work title is for. He works for the city or something like that.
It's not a conflict of interest. We have people who work for the city.
Well,
No, he said his work title.
What he told me that night was there's a conflict of interest. He has to check with his job to see if he can serve on your committee. That's what he told me that night.
All right. Okay, that's
Okay.
that's
We
all
also,
well
and
and
also,
good.
and let me just say this too. We checked. He originally was on the sheet or the roster for the transportation
Yeah.
committee. I asked Terry to verify it. We don't have him in the system. We don't know what happened and why he was removed. I don't know.
Okay, it gets
Oh, and
weirder and
I
weirder.
just want to ask a question, and I guess I can probably find the answer if I read that new handbook that came out. In terms of the composition of the committee, what's the balance of board members versus community residents?
So
Is
that's a
there
very
balance?
that's a very good question. I don't have that answer because it's been presented to me so many times. Like how many people are supposed to be non-board members and board members? I don't know.
Wait a second.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Warren.
Okay, first of all, we've been remiss, because one of the things we haven't accomplished this year is the new bylaws, which happens to cover all this stuff, okay? Because the other ones were very thin, because the people in power wanted as much flexibility as possible, okay? In terms of who's appointing these people to your committee, Demetrius?
So I had made
They
I just-
showed
I
up
just
and
wanna
suddenly
hear.
they're on my committee. I didn't.
so I
yeah.
had made mention that in the beginning. I said I'm not trying to relive the old ways of the
Yeah,
chairs
so
of
I'm just-
appointing.
I
So
just
I had
wanna hear.
appointed
Okay,
those who
so how many, so.
I don't know off the
In
top
other
of
words,
my
the
head.
board members have to be a majority.
correct.
Okay, and the reason being is that you've been appointed to the board by Borough Hall for a specific reason. Okay? There should be a minority of voting residents.
The majority should be board members,
Board members,
on the
so,
committee.
right.
Correct.
So.
That's appointed at the beginning of the year.
Right, so in the new bylaws, that's defined, okay?
Okay.
In the old bylaws, it's not defined.
But we don't have the new bylaws.
But I know, which is a hint.
Oh, so we have to. You're the chair of the
I
meeting.
got it.
Okay, so let's.
Already, okay, but
So
no.
you should call a meeting so we
listen,
can
I'm
get
not
that.
saying that. What I'm saying is that you always have to keep the board members just by the thing of being appointed to the community board in a majority.
Okay.
That's how they do their
Okay,
work.
Period.
That's how they do their work.
Yeah, that's
think
how
so.
they do their work. In other words, you can't have non-appointed people being able to
in
make
charge.
decisions.
Yes.
They can contribute to it, but they can't be the decision makers, so they're not members of the board.
So then we really need to review those
You
new
need to
bylaws
renew, yeah.
so we
I
can
have
get
them
this
all.
approved.
I could do it tomorrow night.
Unless,
So-
well, we can't do it tomorrow night.
I also want to.
One
Go
second.
ahead.
So we pull-
Yeah. I have a problem with the listing
the listing of.
for the committee members.
Okay.
Because looking at my list, I have the way that I'm structuring the committee, I need people. And as Ms. Martinez is saying, is that I don't have the little handful that I have, I cannot really have like a subcommittee. And looking at the list, I have more of city officials. Showing as
We all
having-
do, we all,
Yeah,
So
and
you
I
don't
don't
have
think that
a
this
board,
should be.
a board member coming in.
And I only have Ms. Hackett and
Yeah.
Hackett, only 2 people on my list. They are the only 2 people who are showing to my meetings. and they're the people who comes to the meeting, they're from the committee.
Well, they're ex officio, aren't they ex officio?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
and then
it's
you
a-
have
they
this
don't
long
go there.
list that show, well, you have all those people, but you
But they
can in
don't come.
fact, you know, you don't have all those people, you know, and then I think I only have about 4 or 5 people, and from the time from last year, only 2% show.
So then that's where we have to really enforce the bylaws, because board members who don't attend their committee meetings and full board meetings are subject to removal.
Yeah.
Because
that's
I
what
think
we
that
do.
the city officials, they are part of all the committees.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
ex
That's
officio, they
official.
don't vote.
And they don't vote in the, but I don't think that they should be part of the list because they don't show that out. And it makes you feel like you have all those people that you have to work with, when in truth, we really don't have all
Well,
those
So-
people.
it seems to me that your situation is mine. You need to send a letter to, you need to
Those,
send the email to
Terry.
Terry,
We
indicating who, you know, every committee member, every
Mhm.
committee here,
Those members who
indicating
want-
those members that have not been in attendance. And, you know, I'll drop the email and Terry can send it out, since their communication is supposed to come from the CB email.
Mhm.
And just say, you know, based on, you know,
the board.
our records, the
We actually
committee
have a
records.
draft already, but we
Yeah,
should do that.
you
yeah.
have not been attending the, well, actually, you have attended not one.
Now,
So,
what's
so
the,
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking.
And then
that I need-
replace those
I
members.
need some people
Okay.
on my committee.
If
Let me-
there's
I wanna read something to
application,
you.
then we need to know who's interested in those committees.
but
I got
any-
3 people I can
Any
send.
board member can go to any committee, as long as they stay on their original committees, or go to additional committees.
Let me just
So,
read
like-
something to you.
Like if I go to her committee meeting, okay, you know, I can participate, so people should go, you know, you don't have to be an appointed member per se.
You
can
can't
go
vote
for
though,
it.
correct?
Huh?
But you can't
You
vote.
can't vote
Okay.
unless you're appointed.
No, I
But-
don't.
Let me, we're
what
gonna
you-
move on right after Ms. Baker.
But what should be looked at is that all the board members that we have should be appointed to some committee.
That-
Well,
that's
they are.
supposedly-
That's happening in
But-
September.
Right, but I don't think, the chairs are saying that they have problems because people are not showing up. But,
I don't have a problem.
You're good. Not your committee.
because your committee is probably like the
That
10th committee.
transportation.
Everybody goes into those two committee meetings. Right. I'm on the public safety committee. There's only few of us that shows up.
Well, the chair has to come himself.
Right. But I think that what needs to happen here, we need to reiterate again to the appointed board members.
Yes.
Well, that's one of my
About what
notes
is
that
to
I want to
take place.
share with the full board.
And maybe perhaps you need to send out another letter asking them again what committees are
They
they
want-
really interested
interested.
in and want to participate in.
So I'm gonna send.
Because that was
That's
not
easy,
done.
'cause I don't wanna
And then
force
we
it
all
on.
should have a list
Gotcha.
of who's on the different committees because we all
Yeah.
don't have
Leaving
that.
out the ex
We
officio.
all do not
was
have that.
interested. That is correct.
So let me read.
Yes, it's
I agree.
Let me read this letter that goes out to the board members, and maybe we could use the same. Well, we could do the same template for non-board members. It says Article 5.5A of the bylaws of Community Board 9 states an appointed board member may be removed from the board for cause, which shall include substantial non-attendance at board or committee meetings. Article 5.5B of the bylaws state 3 consecutive absences or more than 50% of non-attendance at board or committee meetings may be considered substantial non-attendance. In addition, the New York City Charter confirms the existing bylaws regarding absentees. The second paragraph reads this. I'm not going to read the person's name, but it says, since being reappointed to Community Board 9 in June 2014, you have failed to attend 11 regular scheduled meetings of the board. Your name will be therefore placed before the Executive Committee for removal. You may submit a written explanation for your absences,
Alicia.
because every meeting is an open meeting as well, shall be removed for your absence, which will be taken into consideration. This is the email this is the letter that gets sent out to board members.
Yeah.
She's for track. She's for
Yeah, for
transportation.
8:30.
For the 8:30.
So this is the letter that gets sent out to board members. The 3 letters are going out this week, and it's going to be presented before the full board tomorrow night. Okay?
So there are applications that
Yes, Terry has a lot
the
of
committee chairs
should
can
go through.
go through and.
Yeah, also, if you want, like, I needed more board members on my committee. So I asked Beverly and someone else to
You
join.
want me to join your committee?
No, I didn't invite you.
So let's move on, guys.
But my point is,
Why is she here?
no quorum for you.
So what, so.
I'll take you on mine.
Hold on a second.
Come on over.
What's your committee?
Environmental.
What's your committee you have?
Environment.
8:30. Environment.
I wasn't coming to the transportation.
You just coming to the chair meeting?
No, I was just wondering why the Empire Study.
I sent the email to you.
No, you didn't send me anything.
I sent you an email this morning. I
I
have
don't
it
think
right
that
here
was supposed
actually.
to.
Can you hold
But
that
he's
till
Yeah,
asking,
let me
he's
continue
asking
this.
me.
Let
why
me
is
continue
that
this.
me
Let me
after
continue
this?
this
I
meeting.
understand that,
Now
but he
explain
asked.
to you.
So he's already-
I'm
So what I'm
understand.
gonna do, I'm gonna show you the email that I sent earlier this morning to you and to Jarvis first, which I mentioned to the chairs, but I'll explain to you right after this meeting. Thank you.
Who
So
is this?
the next bullet is this. Okay, committee chairs. I think it was mentioned last year, we're bringing it up back again. Committee chairs attending the executive. Ms. Boyd?
I thought this was an open meeting.
It is not.
It's a
This
meeting.
is a chair,
It's a chair
So
meeting.
it's a closed meeting.
It's chairs. Yeah.
It's a closed
Only
meeting.
the chair meeting.
Yes.
It's a closed meeting.
It's a committee chair meeting.
I'm
I
meeting with the-
understand that, but I'm just asking if it's an open meeting or
It's a
closed
committee
meeting.
chair
It's
meeting.
a closed meeting.
Are you a committee chair?
I'm meeting with my committee chairs, Ms. Boyd.
And I am not interrupting. I'm here taking off.
Good.
No,
Okay,
please,
great.
stand here. You shouldn't be here. Please go to the
Go
front.
to the
Please.
front.
I will.
Thank you.
I was caught today.
Demetrius, just one last thing.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, we have to reevaluate.
So in the beginning, this is
committees, right?
September, correct?
So you don't just stay on a committee
No.
indefinitely. You have to.
So I think what Dwayne had did before, he had a party, but a meeting in the office here with all board members, and you decided which committee you wanted to be a part of before being appointed
Did you put
by
out
the
a
chair.
questionnaire?
Quite correct. So I think we should do that going forward, but tomorrow night I'll mention it to the full board. If you're not happy with your committee, some members have actually expressed they weren't happy with certain committees, they want to be removed to go into certain committees.
Well,
And we
yeah, because
accommodate.
a lot of people say they were appointed
Yes.
to committee that they would have no interest in, and
Yes.
that's why.
So one of the reasons why I
That's
did
why I said I
that,
should do it over again.
I had left some people on. I think I tried to reach out. I think I've tried to reach out to most to ask what committee you want to be on. If I didn't get you, I pointed out to because we had a certain time to really submit.
A lot of people didn't get that.
Really? Okay.
A lot of people
Well, we know-
didn't get that. I can say that
No, but
clearly and
did
truthfully.
Warren finish what you finished what you were saying?
Warren? Tell me, said you finished what you were
What?
saying? Did you
About
finish what
the-
you were saying?
about
About
your
the committee?
committee?
Yeah, in other words, you can, people have to be on the committees they're appointed to. But I needed more bodies on my committee. So, and people who knew certain things, who had skill sets and
So much
history.
more.
So like I
I'm
asked
gonna ask you
Beverly to
towards the
be on the
front.
committee, because we're gonna be really moving into the armory.
It don't matter because she's gonna get the tape anyway.
You know,
so you don't want to know.
I know. But anyway, so Beverly, I asked Beverly to come on the committee, and, because we really don't vote on anything on that committee, we just do
This
things.
isn't.
And so I did that. Now, she's still responsible to be on housing,
Yeah.
but in other words, so
Oh,
if you,
hold up a minute.
What
you
happened?
know.
You invaded my committee.
Let me just finish the last two
I just
bullets.
started
Go
taking-
ahead.
I'm not leaving.
Hello. Yeah, let me finish the last two. Go ahead, Ms. Man.
I'd like to know if this was a committee chair meeting, why is it being videotaped? That's true.
Because that's expressed this from before. Anything you put on the website is because
Did you put this meeting on the website?
any meeting you have is on the website. You have to have a meeting on the website, and it's open to opens meetings law.
Well,
We
I
have-
want to spend a
so
check
she can
that
come
I
on.
don't like being videotaped. And
Nor
if
do
I say
I.
I don't want to be videotaped, then I can't be videotaped. It's against my constitutional rights.
Excuse me.
I don't want to be videotaped. That's true.
You just-
It's against my constitutional right.
So let me just continue. Gotcha. Let me just continue on.
Yeah.
So it's every meeting that's held is open to opens meetings law.
Where does it say that it has to be videotaped?
In open
Where?
meetings- in open
Where?
meeting law.
Show me where. Show me.
Let me continue the thing. We're gonna get on the internet. You able to get access it? Can you access it? Because I can't get the Wi-Fi.
If we want to tape it, if
Because the way
Let's
it's
move
written
on
is,
now.
but there's an outside and people come in and tape it.
Yeah.
So-
He's gonna get it. We read it over and over again about it. I'm gonna keep moving on with these meetings. The last two bullets is, we talked about the application process. We're gonna identify where we're gonna go with that. I do wanna introduce why Beverly Newsom is here. Beverly Newsom is gonna be heading off of our new committee, which is the Community Outreach / Communication Committee. So I wanna thank you for being a part of our new committee chair.
Thank you.
And with
God
that
bless.
committee, what's that committee's responsibility? I shared that with you. You want to chalk on that, Ms. Newsom?
According to the chair, the committee's responsibility is to go over the district and identify some of the community's concerns, document them, and bring them back to Community Board 9.
That's great. Who do you reach out to?
I'll reach out to block associations and
So
all
everybody's gonna be in the front, okay?
all stakeholders of District 9
Correct.
that want to express themselves.
Community outreach.
I don't know where that came from.
Community outreach and communication.
Yes.
That's like a
Ms. Palmer?
Yeah. So
Okay.
what the chair also discussed with me
But it's
was
open for however you want to do it,
right.
But that's the guidelines, really, to reach out
The-
to.
Can you say it again? What that's the outreach. What's the communications part?
The communications part, like we suggested initially, and he said, of course, just like he said now, is flexible. We want to start. I think we discussed it once before, creating Facebook, but we have to discuss what parameters that Facebook is going to operate from the community aspect, because we do not want them to be able to post anything on the wall. We do not want all kinds of information up there. We want to make sure that it's for community members who have something that the community board needs to know. Because even though there is a community, a communications outreach committee, not everybody's going to be going to the meetings. Not everybody is going to be able to chime in when they need to. And the community board, according to the chair, needs another medium by which the community can communicate with it.
Sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah, can I make?
Yeah.
I think there are other aspects of it we should probably include that as you figure out Facebook.
Well, that's not
There-
the only one. That
That's
was
not
just
the
the
only-
initial conversation.
There's some basic things that we're not doing.
What's that?
Emailing our list every time we have a meeting. That's a tremendous
that-
form of communication. If we could get that kind of top of the list,
Email
So-
what?
our listserv.
Right.
So all these
Would-
names we have,
Mhm.
they should go out monthly, weekly, to our entire listserv saying, here's what's going on, here are articles to read, here's what we're planning, not just meetings, but everything. Go to the website, there's information here. If we start that
So those meetings are
alone,
gonna be in the front, ladies.
that'll be a terrific start to really communicating with folks. And our listserv should be, I mean, does anyone know how big it is? Is it 300 people?
I can ask
400
Terry,
people?
because we have a lot of
Yeah.
people in the search. What she sends out is the agenda.
But that's the kind of thing, we should know what that number, we should know what that number is.
Yeah, yeah,
We should know that our
absolutely.
listserv is 500 people. Yeah, we should know what it is, because that's the value of communicating what's going on, whatever's going on, So I think trying to get that organized and up and running and fluid would be a
So then,
home run.
Ms. Newsom, that's something you can ask Terry.
And in addition to that, just the website should be.
And I was going to say, the website needs refreshing. The
I'll
website-
I'll work on it. I'll let you know.
and then-
We can discuss all
Thank
this
you.
at
Second
your
thing I
Yeah,
was
I
going to say, Mr. Chair, is that the website needs to be reviewed, potentially revamped. There's old information on there.
So I want
Those are
to
kind of
express
top
something on that.
priorities that we should attack.
Let me just hit this
Yes, we
last
went over
bullet.
that.
Let me just hit this last bullet before we go into the 8:30 meeting, because I want to share something with you with the website. Committee chairs meeting prior to. Oh, I'm at the outreach. Then the. Carmen, you had something you want to say too on that?
Oh, no, I was just going to mention to Beverly, and I don't know if the letter went out, but I don't know if you mentioned to her
About the
the
thing you
letter
said.
that was drafted
Yep.
to reach out to the block associations and
Yep.
the tenants
I spoke to her later.
associations so that they can, so maybe you can facilitate that letter
And
going
that's
out
what
if
she
it hasn't
showed.
gone
That's
out.
one thing to do.
So that we can start attending those block associations and tenant association meetings.
And that's what sparked the whole purpose why I reached out to Beverly and told her, so she can get that letter sent out, or we send it out, and she can just be, it funnels back to one person. Chair.
And one thing that we agreed on, the chair and myself, is that the communications committee will be holding meetings throughout the district. We won't be at 890.
Correct.
So
If this is
just
gonna be a
FYI.
regular committee, then it has to be voted on by the board. If it's gonna be a special purpose committee, it could be temporary.
No, this is gonna be a regular committee, 'cause
So
I think we need that as a
You
regular
need to put
committee.
it on the agenda for the board.
Well, we need to write up what it is.
Yeah.
And have the executive committee
Review it for us, yeah.
review it. In this case, so are the chairs now on the executive committee?
So that's the next bullet. Let me finish. So, having CB9 is the last bullet. Having CB9 committee chairs attend monthly scheduled executive meetings, committee meetings, ultimately joining the CB9 executive committee, being part of the executive committee.
With voting
On our
rights?
bylaws, there is a set chair, first and second vice, treasurer, secretary, 2 members at large. Chairs of the committee should be a part of the executive committee to come and be part of the meeting to discuss any, issues going on. Ms. Carter?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, while it's not on the board's bylaws, the mayor's handbook and the city charter addresses the fact that the chairs of the committees are to be part of the executive committee because they have to have input on what goes on the agenda. And a perfect example of the mayhem that's going on now is because things get on the agenda that bypass the committees, and it should not be. Now, if the chairs are at the meeting when the agenda is being put together, as a chair of housing, I can say, well, this is something that we need to bring to the attention of the board. This is something that we met about. This is something that should be on the agenda. And that's why the mayor's 2015, not 2001 or 1996 handbook that was given out before. There's a 2015 updated mayor's book, which I emailed. And I think it was emailed after we had a meeting, and it specifically says that committee chairs are to be considered part of the executive committee.
Correct.
With voting rights?
So yes, it should be voting rights.
So then we are, because that supersedes our bylaws.
It does.
Yeah.
Welcome to the executive board.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. So we're supposed to have input on what goes on the agenda for the general meeting.
So go ahead.
Sorry, so we're required to be there. Then, that's what it's supposed to be.
Go ahead, Mr. Moore.
So, but if for some reason we miss those meetings from time to time,
Sounds like you're paying to get that letter.
can you make sure that the check and balance there is before the agenda goes out, the entire executive committee, including the chairs, gets notice and here's the agenda.
To Carmen's point, yes, I think we have to, because that was a mistake.
The draft.
The draft, yes. FYI, any thoughts? You got until midnight. Let us know.
Yeah, and also
It's in the charter.
we should
It's
get
in
the
charter.
meeting notices.
Yeah, we will get meeting notices.
Yeah.
That's all part of it.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead.
One quick question. So, because you said that the communication committee has to be voted on,
I'm gonna bring it before the full board tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
we are.
No, that's tomorrow, following month, sorry. Not today.
Because we had this conversation with you, we're actually requested to join our committees into one, so does that require, so we'll be now the Education Youth Committee, does that require us to?
We could just.
We could just go ahead
Yeah.
and join without having to vote or that, okay.
It's just her new one, I wanna get the
You
full
do it
board.
as a temporary thing and see if it works out.
But I think you still should
You're gonna do it
lock
as a
it,
temporary.
you should lock in a date.
Seriously, that's.
Because we could do it as an ad hoc for right now until we make it permanent to the next full board meeting. So you should lock in a date for your next meeting with Terry. And
Okay,
keep,
I
and
can
start,
have an email to her by tomorrow noon. Is that okay?
yeah, and just start working on that letter that Ms. Martinez
Okay.
had drafted up so I can reach out to these people.
Are people appointed already?
No.
The
not
two
at all.
chairs, may I speak?
Yeah.
The two chairs here have Ms. Terry and Ms. Brittany have two different committees.
Yes, you
And
can.
and now
They
they're
wanna do
gonna
one.
join?
Yeah.
And be
They wanna do
co-chairs.
youth
And
and
they're gonna be
education.
co-chairs.
And they be co-chairs?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
I second it. But it would have been nice if we had known that and that was something that would have been discussed and was taking place.
To the executive committee?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We just-
That was my oversight.
Okay, we asked him
It's
first
just-
if it's even okay.
Yeah. Right, I understand
And
that.
so-
I understand that.
So then it should
But the
go on to-
executive committee has had
Yeah.
two
That
subsequent
was-
meetings since that.
that was last
And
month.
It was last month. and-
Last
and
Yes,
it
last
was-
month you did, yeah.
Last month, yeah.
It was, listen, it was with all thing going on for the new year, that's
It was
my
last
mind.
month.
But
That's
there's-
until-
Okay,